Just a couple minutes to do this. Try and visualize this. So I would say with your notes, give yourself maybe about this much space. All right. You don't have to draw a book, all right, or write a book. Just a little bit of space. So imagine right here. Right. So we're going to go up to the top and the bottom. Write stuff on the left, on the right. So see if you can visualize this. We're going to be like Michelangelo making a sculpture. We can already see it there. He used to say, I could see the sculpture there. I just cut away the piece that wasn't part of it. So let's visualize this. Think through it. Don't rush through it. So let's start in the beginning. In the middle. What's neutral?
Water.
Wait, what pH is neutral? 7. So right smack dab in the middle. Put a 7. Everyone should be doing this. And again, don't just say, oh, I got to just do it to get it right. Just tell me what to write down. I want you to think through it. Make these your notes. So you got a 7 right there. Okay. Is everyone visualizing that? You have it now on your paper. Okay. So a little bit to the right. Let's go ahead and write neutral. Okay, now, didn't we say that water, although it self-ionizes and there's equal H pluses and OH minus and then water molecules? So let's do this. Write a little H plus equals OH minus. All right? And again, if you're struggling with this, we'll get you through it. All right? We'll show you what we came up with. We'll compare what you did with what we got, and hopefully you'll have a good representation of the pH scale. All right? Mr. Matheny is also walking around. Raise your hand. He can help you out as well. So we got a line here. 7, neutral, H plus equals OH minus. So a little above, a little below pH is what we call the living range. So you got your 7. Let's write an 8 right above it and a 6 right below it. So we're going to end up having a straight line. Tyler, question? Are you writing this down? All right. So what is the acid range? You did that in your notes before we did this exercise. What is the acid range? 0 to 6. Now, we use pH paper, which has whole numbers. Technically, anything below 7, but we're not going to use decimals like 6.95. Okay. So you got your 6 now. So shimmy down here a little and write a 0. And then, so what will be the other side of that? If this is acid, what will be the other side? Base. So we got, just for your visual here, I got a 7 here, I've got an 8, I've got a 6. I put a 0 down here. And then if you want to go up here, write a 14. Let's put a bracket. Write a little bracket between 0 and just under 7 on the right side.
Under 7 down to 0.
Okay. Now on that bracket, let's go ahead and label it what? Acid. Remember, you said base. That's the other one. Okay. Now, this is what I'm seeing and what we've put up here. I have a 7. I've got an 8. I've got a 6 below it, and I got a 0. Now I've got a bracket here, and I've labeled it acid. And I still have my neutral line here. So let's go here. We got a bracket from like just below 8 up to your 14. Put a bracket there, and what should you label that? Base. Label the base. All right. So almost done. Didn't we start out by saying 7, neutral, and then we wrote like a little formula? Yes, no, maybe? You wrote H plus equals OH minus. Now we need to write the same things for your acid and for your base. So down here, over here near acid, does acid, when it's mixed in water, increase the number of H pluses or the OH minuses? Which one does it do? Say it loud. So it increases the H pluses. So let's write H plus. Do you know the symbol for greater? A little greater than? Greater than OH minus. H plus greater than OH minus. That should be in the area that we've labeled acid. Okay, we got one more thing to add on this side. What would that be? The little formula for the base. Two ways of doing it, actually. So you have your bracket. We've labeled it base. So over here, you can write, well, which one does it have more of? Which one is a base going to have more of? Is it going to have more H plus or is it going to have more OH minus? OH minus. All right? So there's two ways of writing. The first way would be OH minus greater than H plus. Is this the same thing, though, if I write H plus less than OH minus? Yes, no, maybe? What? Okay? Now, you can write it either way. I like to write H plus less than OH because when I look at this, I'll see all my H's on this side and my OH's on this side. Okay, last thing, strength and weakness. We're going to write that on the left side. So, is it a strong acid or base if it's close to neutral?
No.
No. The closer it's to neutral, the weaker it is. So let's find our neutral, and right above it and right below it, write strong. I'm sorry, should I say strong or weak? Write weak base right above 8, and write weak acid just below 7, around 6 area. Now we can be very specific and give you the ranges of strength and weakness, but on the test we're going to expect you to say, look at one substance and say if it's an acid or a base. We're also going to expect you to look at something and say if it's stronger than the other based on its numbers. Like a pH of 1 is stronger than the pH of 6. So we've done weak acid base, so what's left? Strong. So let's go like maybe between 12, estimate where you're 12 or 14, write that strong base. Down here, write your strong acid, say around between like 1. Make that your strong acid. Go ahead and get it straight. Go ahead and kind of span. All right, now we want to see what you came up with. If yours looks like this, then okay. If not, if it's still the same range, you're okay. So does this look like what you just created at your seat? With some minor changes. Obviously, I wrote in the numbers. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't write them all for here. You didn't have to do that, okay? Your bracket for here, if your strong base was more here, that's fine, because we're just giving you a range, okay?
Now, it would have been real easy just to put that up there and tell you guys to copy it, right? Real simple. But you're not learning it just by copying it, okay? What'd you have to do while he's going through all this?
You have to write it.
Well, you had to write it. What else do you have to do?
Think.
You had to picture and think what was going on to understand the scale. That you kind of had a visual imprint put in by him walking you through. You had to visually picture where you wanted to put it. And that's what learning is. That's what the learning is taking place. You know, I know some number of you kind of like asking her, where did I put it? Where did this go? And I didn't want to tell you where to put it, so what we wanted you to visually kind of sequence it to learn it, okay? So one of the reasons we did this was so that you give you a different style of learning, right? And it looks like going around, most of you did a great job. I mean, stuff is right where it needs to be. And I guarantee you, when you see that on a test or a quiz, you see that scale, that imprint of you doing this is going to be right in your brain, ready to go, ready to recall. Okay? So most of you did a great job.
All right, excellent.